we start numerical analysis now. So first thing we need to understand is error. Okay. So the result you get is coming from a computer, unless you do symbolic processing, like that I am not covering right now, maybe I will do it depending on the time. So this is called SymPy. So without symbolic processing there will be almost always some error. Of course we want the error to be small, but you must know how much is the error, and sometimes if you are not careful, the error could be very large and it could be bogus, your answer would be bogus. So what kinds of error we get in numerical computation? So one error is round off error, right? We discussed that round off error. I discussed this before. So no number, well, very few numbers, floating point numbers are represented exactly. First thing is any irrational number cannot be anyway represented by finite number of digits, but even if it is a rational number, that too cannot be represented quite accurately inside the computer. Okay, like 1 by 3 is a rational number, but it cannot be represented inside the computer. Okay, both in decimal as well as in binary. But the number, the example I gave you, like 1.1 is quite okay in decimal. I mean, there is only 2 digits, but in binary it cannot be exactly represented. Okay, we did some examples. So these are curious examples which tells you that no number, well, very few numbers can be exactly represented in a computer. Very few, of course, that means the large number, but there are even larger numbers which cannot be put in the computer accurately. Okay, 1.5 can you put inside accurately? Decimal 1.5. So all decimal. Okay, this can be put accurately. Is 1.1. Okay, so round off error is critical. You must understand how much is the accuracy, how are we storing in the computer. But second error, it comes by approximation. So we make approximation. The example I am going to give you. So we want to compute sin of x. X is some number, floating point number. Then how does computer compute this? Series. So one does the series. Like this. But again, I cannot compute all terms of the series, right? So I need to truncate. So this will be some loop. So these are implemented. I mean, there are some clever tricks, but most of the time it is just simple implementation of series. Now this series I will truncate somewhere, but as soon as I truncate, there is error, right? Suppose I truncate it x 2n plus 1 by n to n plus 1 factorial. Depends on the sign. Sign will be n is 1 is odd n. So I just truncate here. So I don't keep this term. So this plus other terms will be error, but we say, well, error is of this order. Well, of course error will be all of it which I ignored, but I am going to say the error is of this order. We expect the series to be convergent series, so each subsequent term is smaller. Alright. So this is the error which we get because of approximation. We will do later that when I solve differential equation, derivative calculation will be not exact, again we will make approximation. So all our numerical computation will be approximation and there will be error because of it. Okay. So error come of these two types broadly. Now it may happen, so is it clear? So this part, I mean this is quite obvious, but we will have to see for every algorithm how much is what approximation are you choosing. Okay. Now this error as well as this error could add up in each step. Okay. So just imagine that I am computing, so I am doing in a loop. So weather prediction of temperature of Kanpur. So to reach tomorrow's temperature, I am going to do many time steps. So take initial condition and time step. We solve Newton's equation, x double dot equal to f of x. We are going to solve this kind of equations, and this is a differential equation, but I will, given the initial condition x0 and x dot 0, I am going to do time stepping and reach xt and x dot t. Right, this is Newton's law. Now this is not going to be done in one shot in computer. Computer do small time steps and it is going to reach. Okay. Just to make it more explicit, so if I start from here, position as a function of time, I will be going to delta t like this. Okay. Each time step I will be committing an error. Now these errors could add up, so that will be systematic error. If it is systematic error, this you know from your experimental physics course. If systematic error, that means, well, each time my error is of the same sign and they just keep adding up. Okay. So systematic errors, you have to add them, but there could be errors which are random. So in fact round off errors typically will be coming with both the signs, plus minus. So if the round off, so if random errors, then random errors come with both the signs. Okay. So it will come with plus, minus, minus. So in n times, suppose each, let's now there is a theory of errors. And there is huge number of books, and I am not expert of this, but we should know how much, to elementary analysis. So if let us imagine each step I make an error epsilon, assume it to be equal epsilon, then if it is systematic error, then n time steps, what would be the error size? N epsilon. Okay. Now if it is random, then a random walker, a drunk walker, is walking from origin, and each time this person in 1D takes one step forward randomly or one step backward randomly. So its deviation from the starting point is of this order, square root n epsilon. Okay. So these are two types of error we get, and so we should keep this in mind, how much is going to be the error. Okay. So let us also look at, okay, so these are broad categorization. Now there is one more thing I should have mentioned it. There is one, okay, I think I should add here, one type of error is arithmetic error. Actually it should basically belong to this round off error, approximation error, arithmetic error. So even if a number can be accurately represented, there could be error because of my numerical operation, addition, subtraction. So let us look at example. I want to subtract x minus y. Okay. Now there will be, well, in my, so there could be some error in x. It could come from round off, or my experimental, when I input it I make error. So there could be some error in x. So exact value is r, which is r equal to x minus y, but my computed error, C for computation, So, my value of x is xc and y is yc. Okay. So, this computer value and this computer value for y. So, the difference will be RC. Now, this is what I will get in a computer, not this. Now, let us estimate what is RC. So, we will also use a word called relative error. So, relative error is not the absolute error, is what is error in x minus x is the absolute error, but relative error is written as x equal to actually x equal to x 1 plus epsilon. Okay. So, this epsilon is called relative error. Okay. So, x minus xc sometimes, if look in floating point numbers and representing numbers as exponentials, right, 10 to the power something, remember. So, large number will have, if the number is large, then x minus xc is large. If number is small, then x minus xc is small. Does not mean that I am doing it right. Number by its own nature is small. However, if I say what is the error in this, so if this is small and this small, then we write this is 1 plus epsilon. Okay. So, this is a good measure of your operation. So, this is called relative error. And this is absolute error. Okay. So, now let us estimate what is RC minus RC. So, this is going to be x 1 plus epsilon. I am going to call it x, epsilon x, error in x, where the two quantities, the errors could be different. And then the other one is y 1 plus epsilon y. Epsilon could be positive or negative, it could be either come in either sign. So, this is equal to x minus y, which is my exact value, r plus x epsilon x now let us look at relative error in R. This is so RC, so my space is getting eaten up, so I am going to write it here, RC by R. What is RC by R? So, this becomes 1 plus x by R epsilon x. So, these are my relative error. Now, when does it become large, this relative error? So, there is one danger, something it tells you that when my numbers are of certain type, I have danger, this number could be very large when R is small. Okay. In fact, when R equal to 0, this should be 0, but this where the error can be very large, relative error. Okay. So, I am going to show you an example where I subtract two numbers which are somewhat of same order, and the error is relative error is large, and your answer could be very wrong. Okay. So, this quantity is large for small r. Okay. So, how do I estimate this? So, when x equal to y approximately, so I am looking at worst scenario. So, worst scenario is when r is worst case. So, RC by R is it, I mean I am probably blocking because I am also conscious of the camera. So, Is it clear? I mean visible to everyone? So RC by R. So this one thing you should remember. So I am going to make only estimate. I am not going to give error is always estimate. You should not say error is 0.134567 like that. Few elementary stuff which people, most students make mistake is you should not write your numbers for large number of digits. How many digits should you use? So somebody says the time period of a pendulum is 1.3596 seconds. So should I write like this? So where should I cut off? So your watch has accuracy. So accuracy of watch is, let's say, millisecond. So I should not have any of these digits. Okay, microsecond, then I can keep this. So we should keep only digits which is reliable. Similarly, I am going to make only estimate. I am not going to say error is this number. Error is bounded by this number. So I say, well, worst case is when of course R is close to 0. So x and y are roughly equal. So I say x by R, and epsilon. So this, even though I am subtracting it, epsilon y could be negative and epsilon is positive. So the error will add up. Okay. So you can say, well, epsilon x mod plus epsilon y. So this is approximate. So the error is error estimate. This is my error estimate. Is error estimate is always positive. You shouldn't say error is negative. We can do the same analysis for product. So in fact this analysis is straightforward. So let's say I take product of two number x, y. So let's call it P. So we can do the same stuff. So in fact let's look at quickly. PC in the computer is going to be xc yc. So PC by P is xy by xc yc equal to, now I apply the same logic. So other way around, no? Xc above. So I just do the same logic, then xy will cancel and I get 1 plus epsilon x, 1 plus epsilon y. So this is approximately 1 plus epsilon x, epsilon y product can be ignored, leading order. Epsilons are supposed to be small, it is a relative error. So epsilon x plus epsilon y, and you can put a mod just to be safe. Okay. So my error is sum of the errors. So product is not that dangerous, subtraction is dangerous. Or adding numbers which have different sign, that also is a problem. So any number with two different signs. So something, while doing this sum operation, if I get 0, then there is a possibility of large error. So I am going to illustrate by two computer codes. In fact, let me do some more groundwork before I go to the program. So just to summarize, we could have round off error or error due to approximation. Now these two errors can add up in systematic error, or it could be random error. So they will cancel somewhat. So error will be not n epsilon, but it would be epsilon square root n. Now one example of error which comes in is arithmetic. So in arithmetic operation, in subtraction, we estimate the error and we find that it is most dangerous when the numbers are of the same order. Okay. So I am going to do an example, solving quadratic equation, roots of a quadratic equation. So this equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is 0. So my answer is minus b . Okay. Now let us work out when c goes to 0, c small. So what is the answer when c is small? approximate answer. So, one is set this to 0, so I get x equal to 0 is the answer approximately. Okay. So, C will keep finite but small, and or minus b by a. Okay. Well, somebody says I do not want to solve this equation, I want to rewrite it in some different way. So, let us call it x prime equal to 1 by x. So, what is the equation for x prime? Is going to be a plus b x prime. Okay, I just it will be 1 by x prime squared 1 by x prime plus c x prime squared is 0. Now, let us solve this equation. So, x prime is minus b squared minus 4ac by 2c. So, what is the value of x? So, again the value of x from here. So, let us write it here, x equal to 2c, x equal to 1 by x prime. So, 2c divided by minus b So, problem is expected when this number and this number are of the same order and you subtract, and that is where error will be large and you get a wrong answer. Okay. So, in a division and subtraction it is a problem. So, I will just show you what the results are for these two, so the numbers I have chosen is a equal to 1, b equal to 1, both are equal, but c is 10 power minus 10, okay, small number, and I just coded the formula. So, use numpy as np, and so first two answers are these values, and the next one is y1 y2 are these two values. So, this should be minus sign, right. So, the minus, there should be minus sign here. So, minus 2c, I have taken the minus sign outside. So, minus 2c divided by minus plus. Okay. So, minus minus outside, so there will be minus sign. Okay. So, let us run it. Okay, the error of course is larger here. Yeah. So, numbers are not so bad, but so these are the first two numbers. The first two numbers, these two numbers are coming from first two formulas, but the next two numbers are, so this number is correct, but this error, this is a significant error, 1726. It's not, I mean, it's not off, way off, but this error is more on the second formula. So, I use the same, exactly same arithmetic, I use the same formula, right, I just made the change of variable, but it has come below, and just by doing it you are lost precision. Okay. So, this is purely because my error is more in this operation when the numbers are close by. If I make my C even smaller, then I should expect more errors. So, let us see whether it happens. So, I will make it minus 20, C is even smaller. Divide by 0. So, it is already creating problem, infinity, divide by 0. So, minus 20 does not like it. So, let us make it minus 15 or something. Okay. Now, you can see that error is quite large. Okay. So, so this is illustration of error occurring due to subtraction. Now, I may say that why am I doing all this, but it turns out that this kind of stuff will happen. So, in the homework for plotting you will get 1 by r for electric field. No? So, you have to handle 1 by r, you do not go close to the origin, you avoid that origin. Now, this is one example. The second example is how to estimate sin x, cos x, exponential, by series method. So, any computer does this computation using series. So, I wrote a code to do these calculations. Okay. So, there are 4 plots. So, they will compute cos x. So, let us turn it on. Cos x. So, this loop is going to do cos x by series sum. Number of iteration I am going to do is 20, which is large. Okay. Now, I am going to compute x equal to 1. So, I am looking for value of cos 1. I can do the same thing for sin x. Now, this is for exponential 1, and this is for exponential minus 1. Okay, I made a mirror here. So, this loop is for exponential minus 1. Okay. So, 4 functions. Now make a guess which has largest error. So, I am computing for x equal to 1 these 4 functions, sin x, cos x, exponential x, exponential minus x. Exponential minus x has largest error or smallest error. So, I will compute the error right now, just it is not the relative error. Well, these values are approximately close to 1. So, it is basically same as the relative error, but which has largest error, make a guess, e to the power x. Second, great, and okay. So, it turns out the exponent, I see, okay. So, let us see. So, this code when you run it, so this is a plot. Now, the 4 plots are sin is sitting here as red, green is green is cos, this is error, the green is cos, third is exponential which is here blue. So, error, okay, the y axis is error and x axis is iteration. So, of course, first iteration has largest error, and when you keep more and more terms the error decreases. And what plot is called? This is linear here and this is exponential. This is called semi-log plot. Okay. So, you can say semi-log y, I plotted using semi-log y. Now, exponential blue here and black is exponential minus x. So, sin and cos converge quite quickly. By 8 terms my error has gone up to 10 power minus 15, okay, which is quite, I mean 10 power minus 15 error is accurate. I rely my computation to 8 decimal place maximum. Okay. So, this is quite accurate, but here exponential the error is, I mean I need 18 terms to get error of the order of 10 power minus 15. By the way, look, there is a jump here and the error is basically 0 for sin and cos, not 0 but 10 power minus 16, but exponential error is significant, it is large, and it becomes very small only for 18 terms or 16 terms here. So, exponential is a very dangerous function, well not dangerous, exponential is slowly converging function, and one needs to keep large number of terms in the series. So, that is why exponential is the most expensive operation. Okay. Among the computation of functions, exponential happens to be very expensive operation, and even exponential minus x, you might expect that because of the sign change plus minus, this should be converging quickly, does not. It is slow. So, this is how we compute this error because of approximation. When I had this long infinite series, I truncated it and I get error. Okay, so this is about error. I mean nothing more I want to say about errors. Any questions? All clear, is it? Okay, good. No, anyways, simple. I mean you know from your experimental physics course. So, next thing I want to cover is, which is my favorite, is dimensional analysis. So, you not want to non-dimensionalize your equation. Your variables, for example, if I am doing astrophysics calculation, then my size of the galaxy could be large. Okay. If you are doing centimeters, it is some 10 power 30, 10 power like that. It is a large number, and errors will be large if you put large numbers. Or quantum mechanics Planck constant, size Fermi, so that is too small. So computer does not like either too small number or too large number. I mean, you can see we saw round off errors will be more for small numbers. We do not deal with division by small numbers, that is going to be a problem. So your numbers should be order 1, and that can happen if I do not dimensionalize it. So my size of an electron is 1 unit, not 1 angstrom. Okay, so in that you have to use appropriate unit, and that is what non-dimensionalization means. So I think I am just going to do the quantum oscillator, not the classical oscillator. Classical oscillator is also useful, but let us just do quantum oscillator. Okay, I will leave it. I did in the last semester. So if you have some difficulty with classical oscillator, so let me just write down the classical oscillator and write the answer. M x double dot gamma x dot kx forcing cos omega t. Anyway, I mean I have 15 minutes, so I should be able to finish. Okay, so I am backtracking. I am going to do classical oscillator quickly. So there are how many parameters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do not want too many parameters. So first thing is to get rid of divide by m. Okay. So divide by m. So I am going to call it gamma prime, gamma by m, x dot plus k by m is omega naught square x f naught by m. So I got to 4. So this is one parameter f naught. Now what should I do? What is the length scale here for classical oscillator? Well, that is why you get in the wrong territory. So you should be, length scale will come from force, but let us wait for that. Let us first divide by time. Let us get rid of the time scale. So what is the time scale? I am going to choose omega naught as a 1 by omega naught as my time scale. So omega naught t is t prime. So t prime is dimensionless, and my time scale t scale is 1 by omega naught. So I should replace my t by t prime by omega naught. So do the algebra straightforward. So d squared x by dt prime squared, omega naught square will come here. Okay. So this is unit of 1 by time squared, x by time squared. So omega naught square will come here, gamma prime omega naught omega t. So divide by gamma naught omega naught squared. Well, this should also be replaced. T should not be there, now only t prime should be there. So this should be t prime omega naught. So I just divide it, so I get d squared x by dt prime squared plus gamma prime by omega naught. This is one variable, okay, dx by dt prime plus x this prime. So how many variables I got now? So this 1, 2, please remember the f naught prime is f naught by m, and 3. So I reduced from 5 to 3. So by just choosing my time scale, I got rid of it. My time is now in 1 unit. So it is not the time period is not 2 pi by omega naught, it is 2 pi for this problem. Now I need to get the length scale. This will tell you what is the length scale. So what is the length scale for this problem? gamma dash wave. No, that is not. These are, what is the dimension of this object? No. This is dimension of length, this is dimension of length, this is dimension of length, this is dimensionless. It has no dimension. So dimension of length is here. So I should take this as dimension of length. So I should say x equal to f by omega naught f prime x prime. Now x prime is dimensionless, okay, and then d squared x prime by dt prime squared plus, now I have to divide all that, so gamma prime. No, actually the division does not exist here, so no problem. dx prime dt prime plus x prime. So this will go away, right? I am replacing x by this quantity multiplied by x prime. So this will cancel from both sides. So that goes away and I get cos. So I have only two parameters: friction coefficient, non-dimensionalized friction coefficient, and non-dimensionalized forcing frequency, and I should work with these two parameters only. So I can solve for x prime as function of t prime. So it could be, well, oscillation, so depends. Now suppose I want to go back to original variable, then what should I do? So the person will ask, he says, what is the position of the particle? So how should I get the position? Now I got the answer for x prime. So I just use that transformation. So there will be x here, and t prime should be replaced by t. So when I say 1 here, let us say this 1, so this 1 corresponds to what? 1 by omega naught. Okay. So time axis, so everywhere there is 1 should be replaced by 1 by omega naught, that is it. So you solve this problem, that means you also solved the original problem. Okay. So you should be able to convert from one to other, and if you know this plot, then you can go back by these transformation, this one and this one. Okay, so this classical oscillator. What about quantum oscillator? So let us quickly do quantum oscillator in 7 minutes. Is that clear? So in computer, so there will be projects or homework or exam question. So you need to work out non-dimensionalization. So let us work out quantum oscillator. So the equation, I will do time independent oscillator. V, so V is half k squared. So this is a Schrodinger equation for oscillator. So I need to non-dimensionalize this. So what should I do? Length scale. So length scale of this problem is come on. What is it? So how do I get the length scale? So now by the way, this is, if you are not doing it, then you are not doing it properly. So half m omega squared x squared, this potential energy or total energy if you like, h bar omega, right. So the energy is of this order. So x will be h bar by m omega. So dimensional analysis gives you very quickly the answers. You do not need to do some fancy mathematics, Legendre polynomial, Hermite's polynomial. It is here. Okay, so this from dimensional analysis, energy equated to h bar omega. So let us for shorthand keep like this. Okay, now please remember you need to do this kind of operations. I mean, this is not fancy mathematics, but simple things must be done first. So, x equal to x prime square root h bar by m. So, x prime is dimensionless. I will not non-dimensionless psi, okay, I will let it be. If I put it here, I will skip the algebra, you can do it, I did it sometime in last semester. So, everything cancels, e exponent squared plus half so what comes here, e divided by, so this is dimension of psi, this is dimension of psi, this should be dimension of psi, so this should be dimensionless. So, what should divide here, h cross omega, okay. So, this is e prime, okay. So, we have only one parameter e prime, no h bar, m, omega, all are gone, and you solve this differential equation, nice looking, right, you do not need to worry about h bar, m, so on. So, in computer we feed this. So, it simplifies, your mind can think simple and you get your answer. I mean, this will be exponential times Hermite's polynomial. So, in our project, in our homework, we will solve these equations. Here my x will be order 1, not angstrom or very small number. So, homework related to this is hydrogen atom, non-dimensionalized hydrogen atom, okay. So, I look at any equation, I would say first let us non-dimensionalize it, that is what you should do it. Okay, so, what we need to start next is numerical method. Now, numerical method, these are general things we need to keep in mind, error analysis and non-dimensionalization, but now we need to start each algorithm, and some of them are very clever, some of them are intuitive, easy. Just to tell you that great men like Euler, mostly men actually, very few women. So, Euler, Gauss, Legendre, Hermite, all these guys you need seen mechanics, mathematics. So, Newton, okay, Newton has very clever algorithms for solving equations, and they did not have computer at that time. So, they were doing by hand and they wanted quick convergence. I mean, computer I am lazy, so 20 terms fine, let it do, but they had very few, I mean basically they had to do by hand. So, they want to get the result as quickly as possible. Ramanujam, some of the series of Ramanujam converges very quickly. So, pay attention, well I am not very good at it, but I know some algorithms which are very clever, like integration, there is a very clever scheme called Gaussian quadrature. You heard of Gaussian quadrature? So, this is very quick, it converges very quickly. So, there is some interesting maths in it. So, your knowledge of mathematical methods will help. Do not think that is uninteresting, that is number one. When people think that is very uninteresting. So, I just wanted to say that if Gauss is doing it, that can't be uninteresting, you know, so it has something in it. So, we will start in the next class.